Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be speaking about the chakras. This is the first video in a series of videos where I will be explaining in depth what the chakras are and a little bit of information about each and every chakra. Today I'm just going to sort of clear some misconceptions around the chakras and lay a groundwork for what the chakras are, what they are symbolically supposed to depict. So just laying the philosophical groundwork before I dive into each specific chakra and their qualities. So the word chakra itself means wheel or vortex. To really understand the chakras, we need to understand the nadis. Nadis are energy pathways that are found around the body. We have 72,000 nadis in our entire system, in our entire body. These nadis are similar to meridians, which are found in traditional Chinese medicine or Chinese sort of healing. These nadis sort of flow through the body in very complex networks. And these networks can be likened to a system of roads that we have and then major junctions in the highway. So these major junctions where multiple nadis intersect each other, that is a chakra. So a chakra is basically a point on the body where multiple nadis are intersecting each other. So we have 108 chakras in our entire body, of which we are mainly dealing with 6 or 7 of them which lie along the spine. So most of the time you would have heard only about these 6-7 chakras. So a chakra is always depicted as a lotus flower. This is because the lotus flower symbolizes a threefold process. So you would have seen also a lot of deities in Buddhism and Hinduism oftentimes sitting on a lotus flower. And the lotus flower depicts mastery or enlightenment is impossible without the muck or the dirt or the suffering of human life. So it is only through limitations that we achieve mastery. Just to explain this concept through an example so that it's clearer, if you think about, say, somebody who is a master at the long jump or the high jump, taking part in Olympics and winning gold medals, things like this. So now this person, to become a master at that high jump or long jump, there needed to be certain limitations. First of all, the limitation of gravity. If the limitation of gravity didn't exist, there would be nothing to there would be no long jump or high jump to even master. The same way, there is a limitation in terms of his dietary restrictions, his workout routines. He had to go through a lot of hardship to actually become a master at what he does. So in the same way, the lotus flower symbolizes this process of illumination or enlightenment. So the blossoming of the lotus flower is illumination or enlightenment. It symbolizes that. The stem of the lotus flower, which comes through this sort of muddy water, murky water, symbolizes aspiration. So somebody who's really trying, who's aspiring to be a better version of themselves and is aspiring towards that illumination. And then the mud itself, where the lotus flower grows, the mud itself symbolizes ignorance or darkness, suffering. The chakras can be seen as a symbolic language that depicts the subtle levels of awareness, the different ways in which consciousness manifests itself. So it can manifest itself through different kinds of energies, and I will speak about this more in the future. There is also a huge industry, wellness industry, that talks about chakras, sells you crystals to heal chakras, sells you different practices to open your chakras, to raise kundalini. You'd have heard a lot of this stuff. In my opinion, none of this really works. We don't create specific practices or specific breathing techniques or specific crystals to open up these energy channels, because these energies are dealing with our everyday life situations. They're dealing with our capacity to work, our capacity to dream, our capacity to have relationships, the way we find our security in life, our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with others. So all of these things are the chakras are a symbolic language depicting the way in which we interact with the world around us. And so by wearing a particular crystal or doing a particular practice, it's not going to change the way you react with your environment. But what can change by doing a yoga practice, a meditation practice, or any other technique is that you may increase your level of awareness. And through this increased level of awareness, you can then apply that to your life. To say, for instance, you know that you have a problem with confidence or with public speaking or with relationships. With this heightened sense of awareness, you can then begin to change these patterns that are governing you, that are sort of limiting you. And that is how I believe we can begin to change the flow, the pattern of energy, or the balance of the chakras. So no practice will directly impact the chakras. The practice will impact our awareness, which will then cause us to maybe make changes in our life itself, which will then impact the chakras, the energy body. In the coming videos, I'm going to explain each and every chakra, what their qualities are, and more from a perspective of using it as a language to understand our inner self. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I'll see you very soon.